U.S. Several units have already put such provisions into their client contracts. This obviously then would include Guy Carpenter at some point. According to Brian Dupereau, the president and CEO of MMC, it all boils down to risk management. We need to improve our own risk management. We're good at advising others, and I want to make sure we're good at practicing it ourselves. We do stand behind our business, but we are not the insurer of last resort. Indeed, according to Daniel Glazer, the CEO at Marsh, there have been a couple of lawsuits against the company seeking more than 1,000 times the amount of money that Marsh received in compensation. According to Glazer, this is an acknowledgement where we have to say the role we play is as an advisor and as an intermediary. We are not a risk taker. How can Marsh, as a broker and risk advisory company, willingly accept unlimited liability for a finite remuneration? While Glazer did not mention any specific cases, the cap likely would have limited the recovery efforts of the state of Alaska, which sued a Marsh company, Mercer Consulting, in December of 2007, seeking to recover more than $1.8 billion in pension losses that Alaska alleges were due to Mercer's misconduct as an actuary for its public employees union and retirement system. Mercer says that Alaska is attempting to hold it accountable for economic trends over which it has no control. Mr. Dupereau said that clients want a healthy and long-living Marsh McLennan. They want us around. Whether Marsh will ultimately walk away from clients that refuse to sign the contract remains to be seen. Now, Marsh clients. One client, the head of risk management at OfficeMax in Naperville, Illinois, say, "This is something I'm going to have to noodle through. I understand Marsh capping their exposure, but $10 million, that does not seem like that high a number." She went on to say it will be interesting to see how their client base reacts when it comes time to renew their contracts. It could be one of those things that just won't fly. And you may have another broker coming in saying, "We don't cap that. We're willing to stand behind our brokers." Or they may learn that 99% of their clients don't even care. We'll be sure to let you know which one it turns out to be. And meanwhile, the voice of reason in Florida, Ms. Alex Sink, the chief financial officer, acting like a modern-day Jeremiah out in the desert, she has warned in a report to the state legislature that if a 1-in-100-year hurricane hits Florida, the state would incur $91 billion in insured property losses, of which $61 billion would be for home and condo owners, exceeding the insured losses even of Katrina. As a result of such a storm, Ms. Sink says that residential property rates in South Florida would increase by just 13% if the Florida Hurricane Cat Fund remains fully in place. But if the legislature retracts the 2007 expansion in the size of the fund, bringing it back to $16 billion from $28 billion, then rates could rise by as much as 33%. The Florida legislature is currently considering a phase-out of the, actually they're currently considering the retraction, bringing it down to $28 billion, bringing it down to $16 billion, precisely the retraction that CFO Sink has warned against. The concern of the legislature is that the state might not be able to issue the required amount of bonds after a hurricane hit. No kidding. A major earthquake of about 5.0 occurred several hours ago up in the Aleutian Islands. As you can see from the two red squares, there were two of them up there. These are relatively uninhabited. There have been no reports of any damage or injuries. Also yesterday in Indonesia off of Sumatra Island, there was a 6.0. No reports of any damages either, or no reports of a tsunami. And here's some dismaying news coming from Northern Ireland. Police in parts of Northern Ireland have begun wearing flak jackets and carrying guns again for the first time in years, this following 3 high-profile killings recently. They've begun to arm some of their officers after the fatal shootings of 2 British soldiers and a police officer within 48 hours of each other earlier this month. According to a police spokesperson, regional commanders will decide where it is appropriate to advise patrols to carry Heckler & Koch rifles. One member of a mobile police patrol unit on the Foyle Bridge in Londonderry, which is an area northwest of the province near the border with the Republic of Ireland, said that the practice of arming police is now common there. All police patrols carrying out checkpoints like these in the city of Londonderry have at least one officer armed with a rifle, and we are all wearing flak jackets. After the killings, we were told to start carrying these weapons. The town of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, is the capital of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's the adjoining state from this very large-scale map. It's tough to tell. It's a pleasant little town located on the banks of the Susquehanna River. Something unusual happened there on Friday. Apparently, yes, bring this one up, the dumbest criminal in the United States was seen. A retired police chief in Harrisburg said he was robbed by what he termed was probably the dumbest criminal in Pennsylvania. The robbery took place at a police officers' convention on Friday morning. The former police chief, his name is John Comparetto, said as he was coming out of a stall in the men's room, a man pointed a gun in his face and demanded money. Well, there were 300 narcotics officers from Pennsylvania and Ohio at the ballroom at the convention. The former police chief gave up his money and cell phone, which is prudent to do if you have a gun aiming you in the face. But when the man fled, Comparetto and some of those 300 policemen chased him. They arrested the 19-year-old man as he was trying to leave in a taxi from the hotel. The suspect is awaiting trial on 4 previous robbery charges. He was then taken and arraigned at the Dauphin County Prison. When a reporter asked the suspect for comment as he was led out of court, he said, "I'm smooth." What does that mean? I don't know. He's dumb, but he may be smooth. The stock market is still down now, almost at about 290. I guess people are waiting to see what's going to happen. It's going to be a long wait. 30 days for Chrysler and 60 for GM. Meanwhile, President Obama leaves tomorrow night for Europe, and we'll be following that as well. If we have any other breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching.